You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports 2 supporters, we're going to talk about Davante Adams because, well, he's out in Las Vegas with the Raiders, and he is pissed. He is pissed, and he has drowned the organization. And honestly, normally, I would get on here and do this big, massive rant about how I don't like this kind of thing. But I got to be honest with you, I kind of don't blame him. I don't blame him. I mean, he went to the Raiders because he was going to be playing with Derek Carr, and then Josh McDaniels shows up and ships Derek Carr out of the city, all the while keeping in mind it's always, for the most part, been the Raiders' defense. You can go back and look at the Derek Carr years. The Raiders' defense has been trash forever during the entire Derek Carr era. So, and he played at times very well. Well, he's down there with the Saints. Now he's out. Jameis Winston is in. But the point is, Davante Adams, it's not like he's going out there and not balling. He showed his ass in an epic way this past weekend. I think he had 13 catches, 172 yards, and they got beat. Jimmy's hurt. And nobody knows if Josh McDaniels, I mean, as far as we know, Josh McDaniels is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Patriots this time next year. I mean, that's a thing. That could happen. I don't know if it will, because I don't know that McDaniels and Belichick would be willing to take on, but, man, I'd love to see Davante Adams traded to the Patriots. I would love it because Mac Jones, they need a clear-cut number one badass receiver, because they can't score any points. I mean, the offensive weapons in New England, this is not a New England video, but they are not good. It's amazing. How the hell do you know what you got when Tua Tagovailoa's got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill to throw to? Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in Cincinnati. Addison, Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. It's nuts. It's like Belichick don't know what kind of league he's in right now. So anyway, back to Davante Adams, because Josh McDaniels answered Davante Adams in all this as well. Let's get to this because, I mean, he crushed them. And I honestly kind of don't blame. They should have won that game the other night. You know, with the offensive weapons, you got Jacoby Myers, who had a really nice year with the Patriots last year. Patriots got rid of him for whatever reason. And you got Davante Adams. You should be scoring some points. And they scored 18 points, for crying out loud. Davante's message to the rest of the Las Vegas Raiders teammates was clear as day. The Raiders wide receiver didn't mince words after a Vegas 23-18 loss to the Steelers. Keep in mind, folks, he's 30 years old. So he knows I've got 2 prime seasons, probably counting this one, and then next year left. And then maybe a lesser season. I would say he's got 3 years in the league left, period. All right, maybe 4. But we know that 3rd and 4th season, he's going to start getting a little slower. We know how that works for wide receivers. The lack of consistency over the first 3 weeks of the season finally wore the receiver down. The Raiders are 1-2 after the first 3 games of the season. They'll have to figure out what's been ailing them before they face the LA Chargers. Well, maybe it'll help that the Chargers is coming in. But Adams was sick and tired of hearing all the talk going into the game. He's looking for his teammates to step up and back up their words. Look, I think this is not only an indictment of teammates, this is an indictment of the Raiders franchise, in my opinion anyway. So let's just listen to this a little bit. This is Yahoo.
I don't act like it's all crazy. It's week 3, but I don't got time to wait around. I mean, it's not a personal thing. I mean, it is a personal thing, but it ain't just about me. But, I mean, it's not my mentality to sit here and try to take all season to figure it out. You use these early games like this to establish our identity, and we we're not doing things the right way to establish a winning culture early in the season. So we got to do something to turn that around. Doing something about it so that when we go out there the next time, it looks different. It's not supposed to just be a week of just talking about shit. We got to go out there and do it.
Wow.
You know, that's the theme of this year, is doing it, not just talking about it and figuring out what we need to do. We did all that last year. This year we got to be about it.
By the way, he just said that on CBS 8. That's network television, folks. It's not supposed to be just a week of talking about shit. We've got to go out there. We got to do it. That's the theme of the year, is doing it. Not just talking about it, figuring out what we need to do. We did all that last year. This year has got to be about it. The Raiders struggled to maintain possession of the ball during Sunday Night Football. Garoppolo threw 3 interceptions. By the way, he threw 3 interceptions. The Raiders let him play with a damn concussion out there. I mean, Jimmy's in the concussion protocol. Yeah, this organization is, regardless, and I don't think Tom Brady's minority ownership has started yet, regardless of the kind of things they try to do to make this legit, it feels a lot like same old Raiders here. And maybe same old Josh McDaniels. So, PFT posted, Josh McDaniels did answer this. Okay, and you know, he had said, we're not doing the right things to establish a winning culture. That's what Adams said. Quote, I mean, at some point, you want to have it instead of be learning it. Okay, McDaniels said in his press conference, I think we're all trying to compete and win. I know where he's coming from, and I think we have a lot of guys that are coming from that same perspective. And it's frustrating when you put a lot into it and you don't get the results you're looking for. So I understand exactly where he's coming from. Guys, he's got 25 receptions and 322 yards already this year, is what Davante Adams has got. That's already his production. And again, most times I would drown a diva wide receiver for doing something like this. But in a case like this where his career is sort of, he's in the back half, he's in the home stretch, and he's still playing like a premium receiver. He's sitting back and he's looking at other teams going, my God, you know, if I was with Kansas City, my God, if he was with Kansas City, Lord. Eagles, Cowboys, you know, I mean, some of these teams that seem to have some of these teams and franchises, 49ers, that have a clear-cut vision. Does anybody know what the Raiders' actual vision is? You know, I mean, I will say this, for whatever reason, Josh McDaniels is one of these guys. Look, he's a brilliant offensive coordinator. There's no doubt about that. Okay, honestly, he's probably the top 3 offensive coordinators in the league, if he was still an offensive coordinator. But he may be one of these guys, a lot like the great Norv Turner was, and Norv Turner was an all-time offensive coordinator that won a lot of championships with the Cowboys, that when it comes to being a head coach, he cannot seem to establish a winning culture. That Patriots culture works as long as you're winning. All right? As long as you're winning Super Bowls, etc. That's the problem with Belichick right now. Is Belichick thinks guys like DeAndre Hopkins should still be taking discounts just to play with the Patriots. Well, Tom Brady's not there, so players aren't going to do that anymore. You know? And they just do not seem, and I think it started with Derek Carr being sent out of town, or the clear-cut message, he was being let go, they were moving on. You know, don't come in and draft big on defense and sign defensive free agents and all this kind of thing to try to improve on that side of the ball. I know they tried Chandler Jones, and that's turned into a train wreck, and that's a whole nother situation that I may end up making a video on. But this whole thing's a wreck in Las Vegas. Aiden O'Connell, by the way, he can play, I think. I said that before. I think he's the future starter there. But then you're going to have a rookie starting, our second-year quarterback. That team's not winning anything over the next 3 years. And Davante Adams knows it. He probably just wants the hell out of town. I don't know. And are the Patriots good enough that they could send him there? Would this lead Belichick to not take him? He took Randy Moss once. Mac Jones needs some kind of a damn weapon there, I don't know where he would go, because you got most of the good teams right now have really damn good wide receivers or weapons. So I don't know where Davante Adams would go, where his landing spot would be. Sadly, I think he would be better off still in Green Bay, and they're not winning anything anytime soon either. So tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. Davante Adams unleashed hell on the Raiders. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.